I'm Bob, and this is GFL Today. As the college season begins in earnest, we're reminded Dave Shepard, a longtime veteran of the game, is now only playing college football. Welcome to the season, Dave. College Gridiron has proved a very popular addition, and is expanded by a new conference for Season 18. The Heart of America. Good luck to everyone in the GCAA. In the pro games, we're lucky to be joined by some new coaches. Welcome to John Niederhauser, Tyler Jones, Mike Thorpe-Potter, and Craig Jackson. It's great to have you in the game. The new season is already hinting at change. In the GFL, Tim Colley's Tuscany Raiders approached their Week 3 games at 2-0 after only winning one game last season. And there are signs that my dear friend Gary Lyon is making his mark with the Herfhada Hulk. They share a division with the Wraiths. Looks exciting. Paul Norris and the Calgary Bulls seem to have turned a corner, and we're watching Bill O'Neill's Columbus Cannons very closely. The Atlantic offers the Rising Sonics, coached by Chris Hose. Arno Munch seems to be confirming the challenge from the Outlaws at 2-0. Matt Cooper's Hamilton have stampeded to the same record to make the early running in the CFC West. In the GFL Big Sky, Mark Foster is laying to rest any concerns about the new regime at the Titans. The team have new colors, and they're flying high. But the big stories are the turnarounds at the Knaresborough Knights, coached by Brian Jones, and Todd Hastings, with the Morgantown Sharks. Both started 2-0. Just like the Brooklyn Park Bombers, under new coach Pete Carroll, in the Continental, there's the prospect of a battle royal in the UFC West this season, because Ian Kerr has the Barcelona Hangers looking much stronger than in Season 17. We also like what we've seen of the Arctic Badgers, coached by Jason Race, the best team to yet win the Continental Bowl, though they reached it in Season 16. But the big news is in the Delta. This league looks more open than ever before. Glenn Weston pulled off a surprise victory over the Six Pete Rogues in Week 2, and is pressing Seth Smith's Silverbacks in the VFC North. Mike Eggleton has the Wyverns aloft in the GFC East. They've already matched their 2 wins in Season 17, and the Metros under Simon Sharp looked much improved this season. Finally, the Empire. We said it before. We will say it again. Randy Scoggins is back. The Aurora Tigers started Week 3 at 2-0. The Walthamstow Lions look much more solid, having already matched last season's 2 win. And Harry Swain's prediction of a rising blue moon under Eduardo Robinski are looking well-founded. Meanwhile, the London City Patriots continue to create a stir. The team caught our eye with more than 60 roster changes at the start of this season. Now Paul Nevette's team has restocked the roster with 8 free agents. It makes Paul the busiest man in free agency across all 6 leagues, and it suggests the Pats transformation is far from complete. We reckon this is the biggest rebuild we've seen. And speaking of free agents, we mentioned 6 veterans in our last show. Let's catch up with them. One was Glover. We suggested he retire. He has yet to find a new team. Of the others, 3 remain unsigned. The 2 with new homes are Max Breuker, who has joined Shane Holmes' team, the San Diego Spartans in the GFL Continental, and Ron Mexico, who has joined Greg Thomason's Hitchin Rough Riders in the GFL Big Sky. Now, we've already said hi to John, Tyler, Mike and Craig. Richard John has been down to the studio to have words with my producer. Earlier this week, we were also joined by Class 4 Vic, who takes over the Hunters in the GFL Empire. Welcome to the game, class. Most of our new coaches take over teams emerging from the caretaker coach program. When a struggling team loses its coach, the program gives temporary access to the expertise of an established coach. The coach tries to nurse the team back into competition. To ensure this does not disadvantage rival teams, the caretaker coach is bound by some conditions. He or she must not trade. Caretaker coaches rely on expert coaching, drafting, and game planning to turn the team around, and step down when the team proves competitive again. The aim? To avoid a new coach inheriting a team with long-term problems. So, a big thank you to James Allen, Brian O'Farrell, Gary Lyon and Dave Russell. They have done a fantastic job with the Huskies and 66ers in the Big Sky, the Beavers in the Continental, and the Seahawks in the Empire. Only one gridiron franchise is now in the program, the Melbourne Massive, in the GFL Big Sky. Of course, caretaker coaches run these teams alongside their own, but the wins and losses do not count as part of their coaching record. And speaking of coaching records, check out the developments underway on head coach pages. These are being expanded to include more detail for each coach. Our aim is to develop the page as a baseball card for coaches, just like we have for players. We haven't finished yet, but you'll see some changes already. You can find the page for any coach by using the coach directory. It's linked from the home menu on every page, and from the sidebar on the home page. Don't forget, you can add or update a biography for yourself. Okay, here at GFL Today, we like a challenge, so we decided it's time for the Battle of the Leagues. Which is best? We asked some of the game's most vocal spokesmen. The Empire is no longer young, and it's already developed a distinctive character. Empire coach Rod Badger was surprised. We had to ask, "Is this a trick question, Bob?" Our record in the Empire of creating gridiron firsts is something we can hang our hats on. Tied playoff games and 80-yard field goals. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that, right? Seriously, the core coaches that keep toiling away like a little engine that could, breathing life into the league. That is what I like best. And a special call out to veteran head coach Jake Turner, who moved out of the GFL to play Empire ball and help develop the league in its earliest days. Elsewhere, the Continental is a league I always enjoy. I spend hours studying Chris Quantrill's Continental updates. What's monumental about the Continental? Chris told me everything. We've got it all. Jim Lawrence's power rankings, Ian Kerr's trade reviews, and a website run by a stats freak. We draft strangely, even madly. We love wonky QSTs. We play all the available formations. No other league has had as many coaches. Each coach plays the game differently. We are all unique. And we've got Pinky Gilbert. Ah yes, Pinky. These days, the GFL Big Sky is brimming with big names. Andy Bates switched leagues to be there. Others include Todd, Ricky, Greg, Lee and Phil. But for me, it had to be Austin. He said, 2 words, innovation and competition. 4 seasons, 4 different bowl winners, with 2 from each conference. There are no sure shots at the start of the season. Any number of teams are genuine contenders, all using different tactics and strategies. No other league can boast this level of innovation and competitiveness. Fantastic. Asen confirms what I'm told by Richard Egan. Even as a caretaker, he is included in the Big Sky's email circulars. I wonder if the general managers will let me join that league. What about the Atlantic? Adrian Hill described it like this: a great community, and most importantly, the chance to challenge yourself against some great coaches, none better than Dave Scott. Enough said. Paul Johnson, for the Grand Old League, said, "The GFL is great, but I don't know how to put it. It's the original, it's the best, it's the standard by which all others are measured." Of course, coaches must prove themselves in other major leagues before they join the GFL or Atlantic. Indeed, the league most new coaches want to join is the GFL Delta. We asked the commish himself, Mike Eggleton, "Mike, why does everyone want to be part of the Delta?" "Well, obviously me being commissioner." "Oh, you mean apart from that?" "Well, in that case, I'd say the commitment of the coaches to their teams, the contributions made by coaches to the Delta community, and the good-natured rivalry. There's a great deal of respect for each other in Delta. You never feel like you're going to get stabbed in the back. Remember, these guys have their own GFL Delta football shirts to show solidarity at the draft. Cool. In other developments, Steve Hilton has established a discussion board thread to support rules change suggestions from coaches who can't make the fall draft. Every live draft sees a healthy coaches brainstorm. The general managers use this to hear change suggestions and gauge their value in a live forum. The session has a big influence on development priorities. In fact, the idea of a baseball card for head coaches came out of last year's forum. Unfortunately, not every coach can attend the annual live draft. That's why we've developed the remote ordering system. Steve's idea will add a way for coaches to suggest and discuss suggestions they won't be able to make in person. Steve will be looking for the 2 or 3 most popular suggestions, and will bring them to the discussion. It's a great contribution, and we would encourage anyone who can't attend the draft to make the most of it. Well, that's about all from me for this show. It's been great to share some time with you, but now I must go and stock up on yellow for the bars. Keep having a great season, and remember, always coach. Let's play gridiron, folks.